Hey everyone, welcome back to Knowledge is Key. I'm your host, Kei Renee, and over here is Disko. I hope you guys had a great week. I know y'all back with us. You're back with us. You had a great weekend.
I had an amazing weekend.
You had a great weekend, and I'm so sad that I didn't get to go. For those of you guys who follow Disko, you know that he just had the Disko show this weekend. Whoop, whoop.
First off, thank everybody for coming out, supporting. It's crazy because the turnout was actually, like, it was crazy. It was a crazy turnout. And the crazy part about the crazy turnout was none of my closest people came. I'm not going to say that, actually. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to disrespect the people there. I'm not going to disrespect the people there.
You know what? Like, the craziest thing is, I have this on my calendar. I've been so excited about it. And then, boom, I get freaking booked for a freaking event in Vegas.
It's cool. I know, listen, when you got friends out there that's always hustling and doing stuff.
Put your phone on silent.
Doing stuff and you know get into that bag. You know you can't get mad when they go get to the bag.
But I was there in spirit, and I called you the day before.
You did call me the day before,
and I wished you a great show.
Yeah.
And it seems like you had a great show. Okay, so please tell me everything. For those of you who don't know what the Disko show was, please just really briefly, or you know if you want to take forever. Tell us what it was, and then tell me how it was.
So the Disko show was my art gallery show with my photography. This show is kind of themed more of like I do portraits, but it was no portraits in this one. It was just kind of more so just like street photography and just like seeing things through my eyes, traveling and, you know, those different type of things. Okay. But the show was a fucking hit. Okay. Excuse me, the show was a hit. We can bleep out the
we've cursed before.
Yeah, but I think you gotta like wait like a couple minutes before you curse. But anyway, the show was a hit, and ever since the show, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about. First off, we sold.
I know, I heard.
Yeah, we sold some pieces. People bought, so that's first off. Second of all, a lot of people actually been going back to the gallery and asking to use the pieces for like their events, or they want to buy them, or like they have like they want to buy them for their office. It's you
out here?
Nah,
it's he's an artiste.
Yeah. It's some I don't know. You know what's funny? I kind of got some like imposter syndrome thing going on, where it feels a little. I've been doing like business and just behind the scenes for so long that. Even behind the camera when I do shoot. So to come out and be like, oh, a show
based
for
around
you. Yeah.
It's always like a little like, I feel like, because even like when I did the book, we talked about like, I don't know, it's just something about when like it's about you.
Right.
Like not about a product or about like I don't know, I'm stuttering like hell. But when it's
it's you.
About
your name on it. You know what I mean?
It just gives you like these extra butterflies that you didn't get from like everything else you've done. Amazing.
It definitely was one of those things. But man, I went with the flow, and that night it was a good night. It was a good night.
All right, so you gotta tell me what was like the highlight moment of the show.
Honestly, the highlight for me was just seeing how many people like really pulled up to support. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy because you don't realize how much work goes in, or maybe some people do, go into like actually putting the gallery together, like coming down to like actually getting these photos printed, to framing them, curating like where they go, all of that stuff.
What's gonna be written on the bottoms of them,
all of that stuff is just like you be thinking, oh, put some photos up, but it's kind of it's a thing. So just to see how many people actually pulled up, supported, and actually liked the work, the feedback of it. I had some critics come by and they actually like gave good reviews on like just the show and everything. So it was. The whole thing was just a vibe.
Well, I'm very proud of you for putting it out, because I know like you be acting real shy sometimes. So I'm just proud of you for even just going for it. Like I know sometimes like it takes a lot for people to go for it, and I don't think sometimes society realizes how, or not in society, like people in businesses and stuff realize how much effort it takes to go for it.
Nah, seriously.
So I think I just applaud proud anyone who just goes for it, especially when I know these people. I know that like I've known you for a very long time, so I know how shy you used to be, and now you're like a little butterfly. You just cocooning, fucking out here just getting it cracking with your wings. So it's like
not getting it cracking with the wings.
It's a good thing to see, like, you know. So, okay, so I know everyone else is like, so what's the next thing?
So, oh, for me?
Yeah.
So, we're gonna let the disco show rock for a second. You know what I mean? Wait,
first, but it's the gallery. Like, you can still go see the art.
The gallery is still up. Okay. It is at Taylor Fine Arts Gallery in Culver City. I don't know the actual address, but look that up. It's in Culver City. It'll be up for the next 2 weeks, and then again, a lot of those pieces sold. So we're gonna be, you know, those people will have their stuff soon, and then after that, we actually got some other galleries that are now interested in hosting the show. So it might be to some other galleries, and then from there, you know, it's back to as far as the photography goes, back to to shooting.
When it comes to like photography and being able to put like art that you shot or like photos that you shot in a gallery, how does the royalties work on that? And like, how does it work for the people who are like the subject of the photo? Like, do you have to like get like permission and all that stuff to be able to like put it in a gallery, or like how does that side of it work?
If you got problems, call my line. What royalties? If we got problems, if you need to talk to me, my business hours are from what was Big Red business hours?
I don't know.
9 to 5.
Oh my God. Let's just listen, clap it up for Disco. Clap it up for you. Thank you. Claps in the back. I appreciate those. You is crazy.
So you know, I know you wasn't able to make it to the disco show.
Yeah, but now I feel like I gotta go and just go look at the gallery.
No,
you said it's still open.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. But tell the people why you weren't able to make it, because that was, you know, big shit popping, little shit stopping.
Oh yeah, you know, just out here in these streets getting it cracking. So I wasn't able to make it because I went to go curate a booth at NBA Con.
There you go.
You know, out here with these 6'6", 6'9", and you know the crazy part is I must be getting old, y'all, because I didn't know not one basketball player. I was so bad, I didn't even know who what's his name? Kevin Garnett, that's him, or the Durant?
Kevin Durant.
There you go. See, I got a moment. Who's a Garnett? Who's that?
Kevin Garnett is a basketball player.
Okay, so I think it was him.
Was he dark skinned?
They're all dark skinned.
Come on,
bro. That's not fair. It's not fair. It was Garrett, or how do you say it? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all probably disrespectful.
Was he the one in Uncut Gems?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Like, all I know is
was he lanky?
He was tall.
Was he lanky?
They're all lanky. Like, this is not fair.
One of them.
I just know I didn't recognize his face, so he must have been an older guy. Because I think I know what.
If he was older?
I know what Kevin Durant looks like. I feel like I do. I mean, it was. She can come in. We have our guest for our next episode arriving. We're just gonna have her come in. I don't know where she's gonna sit because she can't really walk past the camera.
She can sit. Yeah, she can. It's fine.
We just. Or you can put the chair right there. Can she sit right there? Okay, good. Okay, so NBA Con. I went to NBA Con and it was fun. Like, honestly, it was their first one. You know. So obviously it's the first one. They definitely have some things to work on.
Right.
But I do think that once they bring me on, because I did go ahead and get in contact with the NBA team that was putting on NBA Con. They got my resume over there. Whoop whoop. So once you guys hit me back, I would love to, give you my feedback on how to take it to the next level.
There you go.
But it was fun. Honestly, it was cool. It was fun. I love being a part of someone's first production,
right?
And then that way, like, I get to see how it's gonna develop,
Right.
But it was cool.
That was good though. How was the turnout? Like, was it a lot of people there?
No.
Was it? Oh.
No, I mean, look, it is what it is. It was their first one. Their second day was a lot bigger of a crowd than their first day.
Was it like a Friday thing?
It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So Friday was like, man.
Friday was like, eh. Saturday was like, okay, because I think they got to promote it at the basketball game. So there were 17,000 fans, even if you turned over, 2% of those people, you still got about 2,000 people in the building. So the second day was a lot more packed, and then the third day it kind of fizzled again. But I think it's just that, the marketing for it, a lot of people didn't know about it. I didn't even know about it.
I didn't know about it until you told me.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until I got the phone call like, hey, I need you to come help me with the booth. And I'm just like, oh, what is that? Let me go start Googling it. I started hitting up my friends in Vegas like, y'all trying to come to NBA Con? And they're like, what is that? And I'm just like, I don't know. Go to Instagram. Look at it. Check it out.
Was it at the convention center over there?
It was at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But I think as it progresses, it's definitely something that's going to turn into a really cool event. It's definitely a kid-driven event. It was a lot of kids there.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah, it was a lot of kids. But there was also a lot of basketball players there. They had a good roster of teams that showed up every morning to practice, and you got to watch these teams practice. So I feel like anyone who has a kid who's trying to get into basketball is definitely an event for you to pull up with your kids.
Word.
And we had to definitely swat a lot of kids out of our booth who kept trying to dunk on our hoop.
Was it not dunkable?
No, it wasn't.
So why you put a hoop there?
Because it was a part of the aesthetic.
Nah, you
and
put
literally you would blink and a kid would run behind you and damn, I'd be like, yo, where are your parents? Where are your parents? Oh my gosh, where are your parents?
Y'all didn't give out prizes or nothing to the kids?
No, and literally that was the cutest thing ever. Every kid came to the booth so if we shoot the basketball, what do we win? And I'm like, nothing. They're not shooting it.
Why you crushing these kids' dreams?
I just kept saying the hoop bus is back there. They're doing things cute. Go over to Top Shot over there. If you make 10 in a row, you get something. It was ridiculous numbers of at the hoop bus. Bless their heart. You had to make 120 shots in a row to win something.
For real?
And not a layup.
Shots.
A real shot.
I don't play basketball.
I used to play back in the day, but it wasn't. I wasn't winning nothing. I'm letting you know right now. But I had a great time in Vegas. It's hot. I told you about my little date that didn't happen.
Oh yeah. No, we ain't gonna get into that kind of stuff here. Remember? We're not gonna get into that kind of stuff here.
I got stood up, y'all, in Vegas. I ain't never been stood up on a date. It was so sad, but. Yeah, I guess that's my Vegas.
You didn't get stood up.
I didn't get stood up.
He got caught up. That's what that was.
Yeah. He gave me the scoop.
He got caught up. Man said, "Oh man, yeah." Anyway.
But it's okay. That's why we have exit strategies, which is exactly what we're about to get into right now.
What a segue.
Because in business, of course, this is a business podcast. Damari just launched a amazing new portion to his business, a new brand extension, which is his art with this gallery. But with all brands adding extensions, there's something called an exit, which is what should be on the forefront of your minds. And we just wanted to briefly just talk about having an exit strategy when it comes to business. Because, I've done a lot of different things. But, even for me, sometimes I know I don't even be thinking about, okay, when I'm building this, am I building this to sell this? Am I building this to keep this? But in most businesses, most people are actually thinking about, I'm building this to get rid of it. Do you think about that with your art? I feel like, well, obviously with art.
Well, art, I was going to say, art is a little different. Yeah. So, the interesting thing about that is, right, I actually had a very interesting outlook. The person who's curating and promoting me, she went off on me. I had a you know me, I'm thinking business, so I'm like, no, we're gonna do it like this. She's like, no, are you crazy? But so in terms of the art thing, of course that's forever. So that's not something that necessarily that I would say I have an exit strategy on. But I will say my strategy on that is to kind of have limited pieces out. Okay. So, so that, the people who do invest and buy the art early on, in the next 10 years or so, who knows how much it'll be worth, right? Yeah. So I'm only dropping, my strategy right now is to drop limited pieces in a limited amount of each piece. And let that be that, and then the next shows again do the kind of repeat that process. So, eventually when they do hit museums or do hit other galleries or art shows and everything like that, those, like I said, those people who invested early on,
It's like driving up your resale value.
Exactly.
Yeah. And literally the business that we were gonna like dissect was Supreme, which is a clothing brand, like streetwear brand, that actually did that same business model. Well, they pretty much did that same business model forever. Supreme it focuses their brand on having a limited amount of supply, which drives demand for the product. But they got acquired in 2020, and the company that acquired them kind of didn't keep up with that, because they actually didn't have like the proper structures in place to be able to handle the supply chain when it came to getting these products out, and it kind of fucked up Supreme. But their revenues have been dropping ever since they were acquired, because that business model is such a strategic business model. And I actually worked with another brand last year who does the same thing. It's a sneaker brand, and they do the same thing. They purposefully do not put out a lot of product, and it does drive the demand for the product. And there are a few other brands who do the same thing, and it is a proven method that does work. Right. Which I don't know how we just got over here, but I think it's a strategy for business that definitely works. And I've seen it in the art world too. I went to this art gallery, and but what they did, which I thought was pretty cool, was so they had like a limited series, and there only were 5 pieces in the series. Right. And after each piece got bought, the price went up.
Yeah, no, that's how, that's how
so
it
like
is.
If you bought, it was like a 1 of 5. So if you bought 1, you got it at the lowest price. The next one was higher, and whoever bought it last got it, like, had to pay.
No, that's how that's legit. Literally what we're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you buy that first piece, you have a, 1 of whatever. But as soon as you buy it, what that is doing is saying that it has a demand. Yeah. So the next one, again, you're not talking about this photo or this piece of art being in everybody's home. So the next person, if you want it, it already shows that it has value. Somebody bought it already. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now it goes up. And plus that too, just plugging myself again. I got some big people that's like got their eye on my stuff. So if y'all want to buy, y'all better buy now. But going back to Supreme and their exit strategy though, and bringing that up, I think that I kind of feel like it doesn't matter no more. Really? Yeah, I mean if the owners of Supreme and the people who created Supreme, you sold it. Your exit strategy was to build up a high, like a company and make everything exclusive, and you do that. Now you're kind of like you sold it, so you're out, right? Yeah. Or I don't know. But it depends because depending on like the way that you sell it. I know some people sell it, but they still have like a small stake in it. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's honestly, just, business 101. Try to keep a stake. It don't matter if you sell it. Yeah. Even if it's a point, you want to stay in it because, Jordan or, Nike or any of that stuff. You never know. Apple, you never know where it's going to go. So if you own 1% of Apple, you're good. Yeah. You know what I mean? No. I mean, my goal, even for everything that I do, like, I definitely want to sell at least 1 or 2 businesses, which I know, of course, you got to structure them properly so that you can even get it to a position where it can be sold. But for sure, selling some shit. Yeah. Selling. I mean, that's the name of the game, But me personally, I look at everything with an exit strategy. Yeah. I want every single thing that I create to be bought out, even my production company. Like, it's kind of like one of those things of just like you run it for so long. Well, me personally as an entrepreneur, I'm always thinking of the next thing anyway. Yeah. So I personally like to just like build, create, and let it go, and then build and create and let it go again. That's kind of like my philosophy on life. That also, as an artist too, it kind of like that. It's an art within itself to build up a company from ground zero and then have somebody come and see the value in it. Yeah, true. And I think the best way to be able to do something like that is to try to eliminate emotional ties to your company.
Because I think sometimes, like, when we're starting out as small business owners, we're so emotionally attached to this thing that we created that we can't even we can't see past our baby to know that this is actually being created for someone else to invest into and for someone else to take over. And I know, like, when I first started, I had my blog Trendy Me, and someone wanted to buy into a conference with it, but they were like, "But you got to change the name. Like, we love everything. We love everything. We're gonna buy into it. But can you change the name for us? And like and you're solid."
You wasn't having it?
No, I was so emotionally attached to it. Like, change? No, I created this from scratch. Like, what do you change that goddamn name?
Listen, no offense to you now. Where that business at?
It's gone.
You should have changed the name.
It is nameless. I even scrapped it off the internet. It doesn't even have a website.
Nah, so well, and that's a good lesson, right? And it's learning to when to be emotionally attached to something or learn. You know, it's a kid. You know, eventually that kid is gonna grow up, and you gotta let them go off and do their own thing. They always gonna be a part of you if you do your business right.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But you let them, you know, flourish and do their own thing. Somebody else, you know, they get married.
Yeah, hey. You end up like Supreme getting a freaking you know, what was it like? The valuation was 2.1 billion
with a B.
With a B, not an M. With a B. Big B's.
And also too. Yo. We don't do that here.
It was $1 billion.
Well, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah,
but yeah, I lost my little train of thought. But I do want to tag back in on you know what I said about letting it go, right? Because I want to be very clear. Because again, this is a podcast where we try to educate and you know, you look beyond. When I say build a company and let it go, again, just to reiterate, I do not mean 100%. My hand is still going to be in that pie in some way, but you can let go of the majority and let somebody else run it, let somebody else take over, but you still have stake in it. And that is, you know, the most important part of it all. So not just like, I just create this company, let it go, you know, fully, but, you know, again, even if it's 1%.
Yeah, no. Like, hold on. Like, keep a little piece of something.
Right.
But know that little piece of something is going to power your next idea. Yeah. We're creatives. Right. We're constantly, like, thinking of things. I got literally on my board at home, I have, like, 4 businesses, structured business plans written out, everything that's just, like, in waiting.
Yeah. I'm starting a business right now.
I believe it. Yeah. I'm going to tell y'all one thing. If y'all don't follow this, he doesn't share anything. This man got 18 businesses. But they all are running smoothly and successfully. Like, literally, like, you do a great job at, like, handling and starting something and then building a team, letting them run it, leaving it, starting. So if you don't listen to nobody about how to exit something, Disko gonna help you exit.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of there. Hey, look, next up is my man on the board, Ethan. Ethan on the board. Hey, talk to Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan gonna be running something in a second, because I'm gonna let you know right now he's a powerhouse back there. Shout out to Ethan. Can we give him a round of applause?
Shout out to Ethan on the board.
He on those boards, and he literally listens to my nagging before every show.
You're doing too much.
I had to ask him today, like, are you frowning because of me? Have I been nagging? Nah, it'd be cool. But I hope that you guys took something from that. Let's one more time, like, we gotta give Disko a round of applause for the Disko show. And if you are in LA, please go over if you still have time, and just Google the Disko show. I'm sure there's some hashtags, right? You hashtagged it, right? He didn't hashtag it, but it's okay. Just follow Disko_D. I'm sure there's gonna be more information on when the next show is.
Yeah.
Never be afraid to exit, and exit with a big bag. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes you could exit with a medium bag. That's the million. The big bag is the billion. Hey, you see, I did that.
And before you exit, also too, the most important part is always remember to start and put yourself out there. You know what I mean? You can't exit anything that you don't start. You got to take chances. You got to do the thing that you're scared to do. I've been talking about doing this gallery show for two years now. I think 2 or 3 years now. So to finally do it and put myself out there and then see the benefits that are reaping from it is amazing. So put yourself out there.
Yes, put yourself out there and put yourself in these comments too, you guys, so you guys can let us know how you feel about today's episode, how you feel about the past episodes. We got some more coming for you, but we like to keep them short. We like to keep them sweet. So thank you guys for checking in with us, tuning in with us. We have some more great shows coming up for you guys. So just be sure, check in, follow Knowledge is Key on all platforms. If you want to listen to us while you're in your car, we are on Spotify. We will be on Apple Podcasts soon, and I believe we're on Google Podcasts. Yeah. And some other ones. Just go into my link in bio.
Cool. Also, too, I want to plug in, too, since we're talking about businesses and all that, this actually is one of our businesses. So we are officially starting a podcast network called The Poddemic. Okay. And this is Knowledge is Key is going to be one of the shows, and we got some other shows. So stay tuned and stay on the lookout for The Poddemics.
Yeah, and if you got a podcast, submit it to us, and you might be sitting right here. Ow! All right, but outside of that, I am Kei Renee. This is Disko, and this is Knowledge is Key.